price of water. You would have expected that to be the first driver. Second driver, power cost. Third driver, capital expenditure, machinery. Fourth driver, frequency, machine change. Then fifth driver, water salinity. Sixth driver, operating factor. And the seventh driver, step-up volume. What I'm trying to say, we have all the variables. If you really look at all the variables, you have about 21 of them. I've taken the top 7 drivers just to show you what it means. I don't want to go into details of it, too much into details of it, because it takes about 15, 20 minutes. I just wanted to give you this. And then the last slide, which shows you, you see, it's called the S-curve. I'll show you here. It crosses this is the horizontal axis is, the horizontal axis is, I don't know that it shows it here. Well, it does matter. Yep. Net present values in thousands of, and vertical line represents the expected value. Okay, we're not able to see. Go to the full board. Doesn't matter. I'll just have shown them enough. The point I'm making here is net present value is a cumulative value and the cumulative probability here. And you see here it crosses the zero axis here at 40%, which means there is a 40% probability of destroying share. They're all negative. Below that, the values are negative. There's a 40% probability of destroying shareholder value with the investment that you have made, capital investment, or there's a 60% probability of enhancing shareholder value. The question is, will you take up this project? This is very important. You do mathematically, you do a quantitative model, mathematically demonstrate this, and ask them the question. The probability of destroying shareholder value is 40%. Are you prepared to take up this project? This is the only question I have. And before concluding, I want to do that with our friend. I'm sitting at drawing with you, sir. I'm not made a What is the probability of winning? Probability of winning 50%. What is the probability of losing? 50%. What is the expected value? 50% multiplied by 100 plus 50% multiplied by minus 100. So because we're losing zero. The expected value is zero, and the probability of winning is 50%. Probability of losing is 50%. Now I'm increasing the variance to 10 times. He's not like to bet. He's not like to bet. That's exactly my point here. The point here is the probability of losing. That's exactly my point here. The probability of winning is 50%. The probability of losing is 50%. The expected value is zero. When it was 10 rupees, he took it. 100 rupees, he took it. When it became 10 lakhs, he doesn't want to lose by spinning a coin 10 lakhs. He does not count that he can win with 10 lakhs, 50%. He's only counting the loss he could make because the money is, shows his risk averse, how risk averse he is. It's exactly the same with the project. I went to my chairman and said, we are going to spend $2.5 or $3 billion on this project. The probability of losing is 39%. I would not like to take it. If it is $300 million, I would take it, not 3. The chairman agreed with me. When I was the head of strategic planning for Caltex Petroleum or Chevron, I was the head of strategic planning. I'm trying to introduce some discipline into the picture so that foreign technology as well as foreign investment can flow into India in these projects, where you have to pay a price for the product. Here it's a clean water. You have to pay a price for and then you have to make it worthwhile for the foreign investor to participate in this market. With this, I'll conclude my session. Thank you. I'd like to
estimate the probability?
Actually, each variable, now you're asking me a question which I have to go to the model. I don't have the model with me, quantitative or mathematical model. Each variable, we go to the experts and talk to them and assign probability. And we also do the probability distribution. Monte Carlo simulation, this is Monte Carlo simulation with the probability distribution for each variable. What is the worst that can happen? What is the pessimistic value? What is the optimistic value? What is the most likely value? And what is the probability it will go pessimistic? What is the probability it will go optimistic? And what is the most likely value, and what is the probability of its occurrence? And then we use Poisson distribution, log normal distribution, normal distribution. IIT professors should understand, they'll be able to relate to me, all kinds of distributions we use. And then we come to the conclusion. And the clients can challenge me. The moment he challenged me, he said, I don't agree with your numbers. I tell them, you put your numbers in my model and you run it. I don't run it. You run it and tell me whether you are prepared to take the risk. This is, people think of money. When the foreign investment has to flow, or anywhere investment has to flow, you have to do this study to see that even government doesn't do it. In fact, the power industry is in such doldrums because of this problem with the government. They try to, in fact, I had to point out to them, how did you accept 2 rupees 26 paise per kilowatt hour for the Mundra project? You know, the probability of destroying shareholder value is 100%. And they said, you are right, we made a mistake. They were nice enough to tell me that. This is the kind of thing we can use for many of the projects and make sure it is equitable for both government, private sector, and the public at large. All the three participants will get the benefit. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you for providing a mathematical perspective to the whole issue of costing, pricing, and shareholder value recovery. I now invite Dr. Sandeep Asolkar to give the next agenda or the next talk on this. Dr. Asolkar is the Managing Director of SFC Environmental Technologies Private Limited, which is building plants to treat 5% of the total sewage that is generated in India up to a level of less than 5 ppm BOD. Impressive as that sounds, their technology, CTEC, is used in more than 180 plants in India and an equal number of 180 plants in 22 countries worldwide. Dr. Asolkar has over 22 years experience in this field. Dr. Asolkar, over to you.
Yeah. Firstly, I thank Dr. Dare and Subramaniam for giving me an opportunity to speak here. Actually, it gives me a lot of pleasure to talk on this topic, because 8 years back, when we started this company in India, SFC, and we introduced a technology called CTEC, that there was one question which we asked people, is those people who were putting up sewage treatment plants. And that was, if you are going to spend money on treating sewage, why don't you treat it to a standard by which you can recycle this water? And when you use this concept, this is exactly this concept which we are talking about today. When you use this concept, what happens is, today, if you see the sewage treatment is a cost item. It's only a cost to the corporation or the government or any body which is putting up. So we thought we changed the paradigm of this concept. We said, if we recycle this water, you can possibly sell this water. Now what cost and all is a different issue, but if it say you can sell it for 2 rupees, the corporation will benefit because it will have some payback of its investment. Then who will use this water? The water may possibly be used by industry. What is happening? Industry is today getting water at 30 rupees, 40 rupees, somewhere 60 rupees. Now this we can sell it for say 20 rupees or 30 rupees, whatever cost. So the industry benefits because industry gets water at a cheaper rate. While doing this, we are saving precious drinking water, which we can feed more number of people this drinking water, which is the same. So if you see in this whole issue, all the stakeholders benefit. And what is the end result? The end result is that you have actually minimized the pollution to zero. If you are recycling, theoretically, if you are recycling an entire amount of water, you are not putting any water in the river or in the sea. And you are actually making the pollution zero. If you are doing this, this is one way where we can eliminate the pollution, completely eliminate the pollution. Or at least if you treat to less than 5 BOD, you are, I would say, reducing the pollution by about 98-99%. And this I am talking specifically with respect to also nutrient removal. It is not only important that you reduce the BOD to 5 or less than 5, but also nutrient removal. Many places, actually, I've been to several places, and there is a little skeptical view about the government and legislation. People talk that there is no good legislation, or we must have stringent legislation and all that. But I have had a very different experience, because in the last 4 years, all those 180 plants which we saw were done in last 4 years' time. These are more than the number of plants which are there in India since 1947. So roughly we would say about 50% of the plants came up. These all plants came up with 5 BOD and nutrient removal. And there was no legislation in place. And all this has been done by the government people. The only game changer in this was the cost is not high. See, if the cost was phenomenally disproportionate, then possibly it would not happen. But the question is today, I am going with this specific topic of discussions. Here is the treatment of sewage and industrial effluents to a higher degree more economical in the long term? I would say it is more economical right now. With the advancement of technologies, the cost of having a 30 BOD plant and a 5 BOD with a nutrient removal plant is almost the same. And what happens if you go with this and you go to the next topic, the pricing framework? If you go to the pricing framework, for the pricing framework, what is important is your basic cost of the treatment, basic treatment cost. What sir just now presented a slide which said that total water usage or the waste produced is 88% is in the power plants. Now, out of that 88%, the power plant uses 90% of the water for cooling requirements. And for cooling requirements, if you treat the sewage to 5 BOD and nutrient removal standards, it's absolutely apt for using this. Now, if you use this concept, what will happen is, one is your pollution will be completely eliminated. That is number one. Number two is you are getting an additional source of how many tons of water you had said about which was used by the power plants.
83, actually 88% of that.
No, 88%, but in real terms, it would be some maybe 30-40 million meter cubes.
About 31 million cubic meters.
Yeah, so you can easily generate, and all this is possible. And another good thing, what I can say is, there are 2-3 plants in Maharashtra which are already doing this. Like there is a project which is being done in Nagpur, where the Nagpur sewage is being supplied to the power plant. It is treated with CTEC and it is being supplied to the power plant. Now, if you actually see the cost, because we are again discussing about the cost and pricing aspect, the cost per kilowatt, means basically we are all paying for a kilowatt meter, is not even 1 or 2 paise. Now, you talk of a 1600 megawatt power plant and an investment for doing this of about, say, 200 crores. So the actual cost on the user is not even 1 paise. So, and everybody, I think, there would be no problem if you increase the unit price by 1 paise and do this. This will ultimately yield to what? It will yield to having a higher amount of raw water available for either agriculture or for drinking. You are completely eliminating pollution, because see, in Nagpur, it's a specific case study. If you see, Nagpur produces about 400 MLD of sewage, out of which there are 2 plants, one is 200 MLD and one is 130 MLD. So 330 MLD of sewage will be completely recycled. So you are practically eliminating what? Almost 85% of the pollution is not being put into the river. So this pollution is gone. Now this water is being reused. So you are again generating this water out. The drinking water saved will now go to the